I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good.
This is the same person that literally said she didn't know what her WNBA salary was and that it didn't even cover her rent. Angel Reese makes at least $5 million.
Angel Reese is making headlines with one of the boldest demands in WNBA history. Despite struggling on the court, missing layups, underperforming in games, and getting into clashes with opponents, she's pushing for a salary on par with NBA players. And if that wasn't enough, she's even suggested a possible league lockout if her demands aren't met.
Because I'm hearing they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. That's a possibility.
I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, will you two idiots just shut up? Sit out.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve.
This isn't just entitlement, it's pure delusion. Today, we're breaking down exactly why Angel Reese is way off base, how she's hurting the WNBA, and why no one would actually care if she sat out. Get ready, because we're about to expose just how ridiculous this whole situation really is.
You lost 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year.
Angel Reese is asking for superstar money, but she's not playing like one. Let's start with her performance on the court, because if you're demanding a big payday, you should at least be dominating, right? Instead, Reese has been struggling game after game, missing easy shots, bricking layups, and putting up some of the worst shooting numbers.
She just threatened the lockout. If y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. She's threatening to go on strike. I actually understand it's the way negotiations work in the CBA, not on a podcast.
Just a quick look at her field goal percentage says it all. You can't be a post player shooting in the mid-30s and expect to be taken seriously. She's actually the worst in the league at making shots within 5 feet of the rim. Even her own fans have noticed that she's padding her rebounding stats by missing her own shots and grabbing the board. That's not elite play, it's just empty stat chasing.
Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Angel Reese is asking for NBA-level money while struggling to make layups, turning the ball over, and causing drama instead of dominating. Rather than letting her performance speak for itself, she's become known for trash talk, unnecessary scuffles, and over-the-top antics. The problem? None of it translates to real success on the court.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
Angel Reese has a track record of taunting Caitlin Clark, stirring up drama, and then acting like the victim when things don't go her way. This has made her one of the most polarizing players in the WNBA. Yet, despite all of this, she still sees herself as a major factor in the league's growth, and thinks that alone justifies a bigger paycheck.
And isn't she shooting 35% from the field? Can somebody tell me who in the world watches a 35% shooter from the paint that is basically grabbing her own rebounds from her own missed shot?
Let's get one thing straight, Angel Reese is not carrying the WNBA. Not even close. The league's surge in popularity has nothing to do with her and everything to do with Caitlin Clark, and the numbers back it up. Reese is shooting around 35% from the field. Who's tuning in to watch a player struggle that badly, mostly rebounding her own missed shots? Meanwhile, when Clark plays, arenas sell out, TV ratings soar, and ticket prices triple. When she's not involved, attendance drops and interest fades. Reese, on the other hand, hasn't moved the needle at all. Yet she still acts like she's on Clark's level when it comes to growing the league. That's not confidence, that's pure delusion.
Like if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. These two, sit out. See what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything.
Now, Reese is taking her entitlement even further by hinting at a lockout if the WNBA doesn't start paying her more. But let's be real, why should the league invest in a player who hasn't proven she can dominate? Why should owners shell out more cash for someone who isn't even a top player at her position? Reese acts like she's an MVP candidate, but in reality, she has a long way to go before she's even in the conversation for the WNBA's best. She seems to think that because social media hypes her up, she's automatically worth more, but hype doesn't equal value, not in basketball and definitely not in business. If Caitlin Clark weren't in the league, no one would even know who Dijonai Carrington is, just like no one would be paying attention to Reese. If she really wants a bigger paycheck, she should focus on improving her game first. Winning matchups, playing smart basketball, and making herself truly valuable on the court would do a lot more for her career than complaining about salaries and stirring up drama.
Actually, if you really want to go into business, you need to pay some money back. You made absolutely nothing. You haven't really enhanced the league. Caitlin Clark has.
We have to be completely honest about this, whether we like it or not. 90% of this revived or renewed interest is really based around one singular player.
And here's the best part, if players like Angel Reese or Dijonai Carrington actually sat out, the WNBA wouldn't miss them. In fact, the league might even be better off without all the unnecessary drama and antics.
If I was funding this league, I'd say, all right, hold on. You got a golden goose. We all got one in Caitlin Clark. These people that are criticizing Caitlin Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlin Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlin Clark are hurting our opportunity. They're hurting the brand.
The WNBA will keep growing with or without Angel Reese because the real star power comes from Caitlin Clark and a few other elite players. Meanwhile, Reese would just be another player who talked a big game but couldn't back it up where it actually matters, on the court.
I mean, you want to grow the game? All right, grow the game. All I'm saying is if you want to play with in the big leagues, if you want to be somebody that transcends the game, you got to have a personality. I will give Angel Reese this. She has a personality. It's ignorance. It's stupid. I mean, it's really stupid.
Reese and Carrington are acting like the WNBA is swimming in billions, but let's be real, the league is still relying on the NBA's financial support to stay afloat. These players are demanding NBA-level salaries without even understanding how their own league actually operates.
I will continue to use my voice to speak for what we want and deserve as a league. Thank you. No, that's not what you did. You said me, I. They're going to get more than us. I deserve more, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut up.
But let's address the biggest myth Reese keeps trying to push. The idea that she's responsible for the WNBA's growth.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Let's break it down. Unlike the NBA, which brings in billions each year through TV deals, sponsorships, merchandise, and ticket sales, the WNBA is still losing money annually. In fact, the league depends on the NBA, which pours in around $40 to $50 million every year just to keep it running.
And I have a suggestion for you. Don't sit out. You have a real opportunity right now. The only time, think about it, baseball is going to go away on ESPN. ESPN is pushing women's sports like never before. Instead of having every single person with a reasonable mind say, look, morons, nobody's going to miss you. This is your time. Take advantage of it.
Here's where Reese really exposes her ignorance. She recently went on a podcast complaining that future WNBA rookies will make more than her under the next collective bargaining agreement. She acted like this was some huge injustice, completely ignoring the fact that salaries increase over time as revenue grows. That's just basic sports economics. Instead of focusing on improving her game to earn a bigger contract down the line, Reese is out here whining about hypothetical paychecks that don't even exist yet.
Dijonai Carrington, you wouldn't even know who she was if she didn't try to beat up Caitlin Clark in a game. You wouldn't even know, but these two clowns got together as the dumbest people in sports and saying, wait for it, they need more money, threatening to hold out if they don't get what they want.
Reality check, Angel Reese isn't the reason for the WNBA's surge in popularity. Caitlin Clark is, and the numbers prove it. Every major spike in viewership and attendance this season can be traced back to one player, Clark. Indiana Fever games are selling out nationwide, not because of Reese, but because Clark is a generational talent who has completely changed the landscape of the league.
I think Angel's more concerned about being an influencer, content creator, over being a better basketball player. This was her taking pictures, hanging out with some rappers and producers, etc.
You think you could get a bucket in this format, full court 3-on-3?
You don't think I can get a bucket?
Yeah.
If Angel Reese on my team, yeah.
Angel Reese is making headlines with one of the boldest demands in WNBA history. Despite struggling on the court, missing layups, underperforming in games, and getting into clashes with opponents, she's pushing for a salary on par with NBA players. And if that wasn't enough, she's even suggested a possible league lockout if her demands aren't met.
Most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skills. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do with basketball.
This isn't just entitlement, it's pure delusion. Today, we're breaking down exactly why Angel Reese is way off base, how she's hurting the WNBA, and why no one would actually care if she sat out. Get ready, because we're about to expose just how ridiculous this whole situation really is.
She has no rhythm, just like she can't make a layup. Practice layups. OnlyFans incoming.
Angel Reese is asking for superstar money, but she's not playing like one. Let's start with her performance on the court, because if you're demanding a big payday, you should at least be dominating, right? Instead, Reese has been struggling game after game, missing easy shots, bricking layups, and putting up some of the worst shooting numbers we've seen.
I cannot believe this is actually a clip that somebody put out to try to make her look good. This makes her look terrible. I'm shocked. That was pathetic. And then finally, she makes the layup. We're celebrating that? Really? Taller than hell out there. Can't hit a layup. Get in the lab, shoot 200 layups a day. Every single 365 days. Is there anybody else in the WNBA or NBA that does this more than Reese? From tonight's game, third quarter, in 16 seconds, Reese took 4 shots, missed the first 3 shots, got an offensive rebound off her own 3 misses, and then finally made the 4th. But, quote, double-double, this looks just like Chicago Sky shit from last year.